Hello to everybody. This is kind of a little impromptu meeting. We're gonna be hanging out here, and we just sent an email out to everybody, but it hasn't been sent yet. So a lot of you guys will be seeing this as an afterplay. But I wanted to jump on here and just talk to everybody about all of the stuff, all of the craziness that's been happening. It's been interesting. Like I don't know. I'm sure all you guys are the same way. Being on social media, you see all the people talking and comments and this and that, and they're all this stuff. And so I just want to jump in here and kind of give you some of my thoughts and some of my advice. My lights here is too hot. Sorry, it's look funny. There you go. Anyway, I want to give you some thoughts from my side, from ClickFunnels side, and hopefully help you guys out. So with that said, I'm going to jump in. You guys ready to have? I'm going to have some fun, but ready to talk about what's on everyone's mind. So what I wanted to basically talk about today really is how to protect your company during this coronavirus, during the storm. I think. I'm definitely not by any stretch of the imagination any kind of expert when it comes to coronavirus. I'm not even going to discuss that at all. I'm not going to talk about precautions. I'm not going to talk about the virus, what's happening like that. All I know is I'm watching the economic repercussions because of this whole thing, and that's what I wanted to talk about, because that's something that I have some control over, not control, but something I can help with, something I have some ideas and things that I can help you with. A lot of you guys who are going through this, it's been interesting on social media, again, watching everybody like, there's kind of two camps. There's the camp of people that are like, they're scared, they're fearful, they're prepping, they're doing everything right. There's this side, and there's the other side of people who are like, oh, this is just a scam. It's just a media hoax, it's a bunch of stuff. And regardless of what you think, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is what's happening economically. And as business owners, we need to be watching that and paying attention and understanding it, because like your survival as a company does depend on it. And so that's what I really want to talk about right now. In fact, I remember when I was first getting started in this business, it was right after one of the big ups and downs. I remember I bought a course that was a few years older from my first mentor. It was actually Mark Joyner, and he put on an event called Survival Tactics for Tough Times. And when I got the course, it was like we were in this summer time of business again. Like things were great. And I remember listening to it and hearing what they were talking about and just being like, man, like I'm glad I didn't have to go through that in my business. You know, when the markets are scary and everything's shutting down and all sorts of stuff. But then sure enough, 5 or 6 years later is when whenever it was 2008 is when the last big crash happened. And I was in business during that time. And I learned a lot during that wave, the ups and the downs. I had a lot of people who I love, who I cared about, who had amazing, successful businesses during that time that are no longer in business today. And so we were able to weather that storm. I want to kind of talk about some of the things so that you guys are prepared, so you're not walking into this blind. I think covering your eyes and hoping for the best is not the best idea, especially right now, is to be open and understanding things. And so even if you don't understand the virus, like I don't, you need to understand the economic repercussions of that and what that means for you and how to protect yourself and your family and your business and your employees and your staff and your team and all the people that are in your stewardship. And so that's kind of what this Facebook Live is about. And hopefully it helps give you guys some ideas and give you some comfort and some hope and some faith in moving forward. I want to do this before the weekend because I know that this weekend is going to be a nervous time for a lot of people. So if I can give anything to you guys, this is kind of my experience, and hopefully it'll help. I'm now, man, almost 18 years in this business now. So almost been 2 decades. So I've had a chance to be up and down the loop a couple times, and again, definitely a couple of things that I've learned that hopefully I can help. So that's that. I have an outline here, so I'll be reading off an outline just to make sure that I cover all the things. We're gonna be diving into 4 or 5 different areas, and hopefully you guys will get value from all of them. So the first thing I want to say is just I want to give you guys some hope and faith. I think it's one of those times where it's like things are scary and uncertain. You don't know what to do or what to believe or think or feel. And it's weird because you look outside and like everything, at least here, seems normal. But you know that there's things happening that we can't see, but we can start feeling, and you start understanding some stuff. You know what I mean? And so the first thing I wanted to help you guys understand is that if you look at all of the greatest, like the biggest companies today, ones having the most success, the ones that have been around forever, most of the companies, the biggest companies in the world, were all started during times of economic downturn. Which is scary for most people because it's like, everything's falling apart. But for you guys as entrepreneurs, you should be looking through that lens and be like, oh my gosh, like as scary as this is where the biggest opportunities are for me to serve people at a different level. And so I wanted to just kind of put that out there initially to start with, because I think if you're looking at it through that lens and your eyes are wide open, like how can I help people? What can I do? It's going to be some amazing opportunities. There are going to be people who become millionaires and billionaires and beyond, during this time that wouldn't have been able to happen during a normal economy. So that's kind of one thing to understand. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing. The best companies are built under depression. Second thing I want you to understand is that, and again, I'm not a virus expert, so I'm not going to try to do, but viruses don't last. Like they come and they go. Every single season we have the flu virus. We have the thing, right? It comes up and goes down. It comes up and it goes down. And one thing that was super encouraging to me yesterday, some of you guys know the company Scentsy. They're a big candle network marketing company. And the founder of Scentsy, his name's Orville. He was in my house yesterday. And I was asking him, like, how are you feeling about this whole thing? And it was interesting because he said that most of their production comes from China. And so when the virus hit in China, it went crazy. Everything got shut down. The factories of the world shut down, which is the scary thing, right? Shipping stopped happening and everything. He said right now, everything in China on his side is turned back on. Supply chain's back on and things are happening. So again, you look at like, here's you see the top and the bottom, and it's like this window of like scariness. But now that they're back on the other side, factories are reopening, things are starting to be shipped again. And so like, that made me feel comfortable knowing, okay, viruses come and they go, it starts, it ends. And I look at Scentsy now, their supply chain's back on, they're shipping things from China again. So it's like, okay. And obviously that's 2 or 3 months backwards, but as we're moving forward, just realizing there's going to be a window where everything's shut down. We got to prepare for that. But if we survive, if we last through that, it's going to be back on. Economy will be back and the opportunities are going to be there. So what comes up must come down. And again, my biggest fears of this whole thing have nothing to do with the virus. I think there's going to be, obviously I have tons of empathy for people who are struggling with that, who have had family members or themselves. The bigger fear for me personally is the economy. Like what can happen because of this thing, right? I'm sure you guys have all seen this. Like me and my kids and my dad are supposed to be flying out to the NCAA wrestling tournament next week. They canceled the tournament. They canceled. These amazing athletes spent their entire life training for this thing, and they lost it, right? We're supposed to go on a cruise next week. That got shut down. We canceled all the ClickFunnels events over the next 3 months. Everyone else is canceled. And all these people who were working these jobs now have no jobs, and it's like that's the scary thing. And unemployment goes up, and those are the things that like you don't think about. Like, oh yeah, some people say, oh, the virus is a scam, whatever. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It does not matter. What you have to understand is that because of this, there's all these other things that are happening now because of it that do have a direct repercussion. Even if the virus never comes within 1 billion miles of you, the effects of the economy will. And in fact, oh, my job's stable. It doesn't matter because other people's jobs aren't. All of a sudden, if other people's jobs go down, then it makes it hard for them to buy your stuff and things like that. And supply chain management starts. There's a whole bunch of stuff just to be aware of. So that's the bigger fear. So as you're thinking about that, then how do we protect ourselves as a company? How do we survive? How do we thrive during the scary times, right? I remember after 9/11. So how many years ago is that now? Almost 20 years ago. Yeah, it was before I was married. So almost 20 years ago. I remember after that happened, and some of you guys are young enough to remember this, some of you guys aren't. But the economy screeched to a halt, similar to like what's happening now, right? It screeched to a halt. And if you remember what the government said, they came out and said, it was like patriotic to go out and buy stuff, like stimulate the economy, go buy things, like, because we don't want the economy to shut down and stop. Like keep going buying things, and like getting people. I remember my mom, she went and she bought a new kitchen table. She's like, they're telling us on the news, we need to go buy things to stimulate the economy. So I'm going to do my part. I'm going to buy a new kitchen table. And everyone was doing that. And, the Fed drops interest rates, all these things to encourage spending to stimulate the economy so that what we felt wasn't as bad. And that's how they kind of protected us during that time. What's crazy now is like the opposite is happening. We're saying, everyone go home, shut your doors, don't come out, don't talk to people, don't go to events, don't go to, and so like, the economy is freezing, which again is a scary thing. And so these are things I want you guys to be aware of, because I don't want anyone going into this weekend and next week and next month blind, be like, oh, I'm not going to get the virus. I don't believe in the virus. It's a scam. It's a hoax. Like whatever you believe doesn't matter, because things are shifting in a way, and it's gonna you will feel it. Everyone will feel it. Anyway, there's me kind of helping you guys understand. Now, a couple things I want to address directly, because obviously. A lot of you guys run your companies off ClickFunnels. Hopefully all of you do at this point. If not, what are you waiting for? I'm very lucky and very fortunate to have a business partner who literally from like day number one, Todd Dickerson, who started tracking all the virus stuff when it was the very beginning in China. He started freaking out, and I'm not going to lie, I teased him a little bit. I feel bad about it now. But because of that, he was very proactive in our teams of like figuring out like what are the things we need in place. What happens if all the development team gets sick at once? What happens if support team goes down? What's going to happen? And so for the last almost 3 months now, he's been putting in things in place to protect everything happening here at ClickFunnels, so that software doesn't go down. So engineers have backup plans. If we lose this, there's support. And so just want you guys to know on that side that because Todd is a genius, which he is, literally the smartest person I've ever met on this planet. Those things have been in place now for 2 or 3 months on the ClickFunnels side, which is amazing. Second nice thing is the fact that ClickFunnels is a distributed workforce. Is very, very important because there aren't big pockets of all employees. So there's nothing where one person gets sick, the whole company goes down, and then ClickFunnels dies. Everyone's distributed for the most part. In fact, just today we announced the couple little offices that do have pockets of people that if they want, they can work from home. So for the most part, everyone at ClickFunnels is now working remote, all 400 plus employees. And so it's important to understand that we've been focusing on getting everything in place to protect during any kind of economic downturn. We're in a good spot there. We've distributed workforce. On top of that, unlike a lot of our competitors, we are highly profitable. We got really good cash flow. We have, tons of money in the bank. All those things are in place to make sure that we weather this storm so that no problems happen, so that we will be here for you no matter what. We have so many contingency plans on what happens, all these different things are in place. And so you can feel confidence, you can feel certainty knowing that we have thought through those things and have been now, not for the last 48 hours, but for the last 3 months. Just want to give you guys that certainty to know that we are aware of it. We're protecting things. We're going to make sure that your sites, your funnels do not go down. You're able to process money during this time because I know for most of us, it's our livelihood. If it goes down, all sorts of bad stuff happens. So we're here protecting you guys. So just wanted you guys to know on that side that ClickFunnels is prepared for this, and we're prepared to keep serving you guys through anything that happens moving forward. Okay, number one. Number two, now I want to shift focus to you guys. Okay, my role here, again, I always tell people I didn't know how to code software, so I'm not the coding guy, right? I'm the dancing monkey on stage who's excited, and my biggest goal is to get you guys to believe in these things, believe in funnels, believe in yourself, believe that you have something of value to change the world. And so my biggest thing right now, I feel like my job, my role here is to give you guys the belief you need to keep moving forward to be successful during these crazy times, right? And so the first thing I want to kind of tell you guys a story. I had a meeting with our entire team this morning. I told this as well, but how many of you guys remember the movie Forrest Gump? If you can remember Forrest Gump, raise your hand. Say yes, Forrest Gump in the comments. If not, maybe go watch it this weekend. But there's a scene in there where Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump, they buy a shipping boat, shrimp boat. They buy a shrimp boat and they go out there and they're competing and they're just getting destroyed by all the other shrimp boats and they're losing and they're getting they're losing their business and their business is doing horrible. And then one day they're out there on the boat and all of a sudden the storms come and they're like, and they're going to take the boats in and then they decide not to. And then there's a scene with Lieutenant Dan and Forrest and on this boat and the storm's going crazy. It's destroying the boat but they're out there and they're cheering and hooping and hollering and everything's going crazy. And then and nobody else's boats are out there. And then when the storm finally passes, all the other boats are destroyed. All the biggest competition, all the things that are completely destroyed. And there's one boat left there and it's the Bubba Gump shrimp boat. That's it. And because they weathered the storm and they survived it, then what happened? They became, Forrest Gump becomes a billionaire, right? Because they're the only ship that's still around. And for the next 6 months, when everyone's trying to build their ships, they survived it. They get all the shrimp and they become the billion-dollar company. Okay. Now, obviously, this is not a true story. At least I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's not. But the metaphor is there. Okay. They went out and in the middle of the storm, everyone was hiding and their boats got destroyed. They stuck through the storm. They stood up. They fought. And they survived this storm. And when the storm ended, they were the ones there to be able to help and serve everybody. And they became the billion-dollar company. Okay. So the same thing right now is true for you guys. I want you to understand that over the next, who knows, if it's a month, 3 months, 6 months, there's gonna be some craziness and it's gonna be insane. And there's gonna be times where you just want to hide in a hole and just disappear. There's gonna be times where you're gonna have to let off maybe fire some of your employees, or you have to get rid of people, or you're gonna have to cut costs, you're gonna have to get rid of stuff that you thought was so important one time in your life and you're freaking out and moving things around. And it's gonna be painful sometimes. But man, you've got to weather the storm. You've got to get in that boat, just like Forrest Gump, and picture yourself out there screaming with the weather and the lightning and everything, and just be like, we have to weather the storm. There will be an end. Okay. Summer, spring always comes at the end of winter. It will happen. And we don't know if it's, again, a month from now, 2 months, 6 months, a year, whatever that is. But if you weather the storm, you will come out on the other side of it, prepared and ready. And at that point, you can become the billion-dollar brands like Bubba Gump or whatever it is, your version of that in your marketplace. And so that's the big thing to understand is you got to hold strong. The virus is going to pass. Okay. Number two, even in times of big economic downturns, not all businesses go under, right? You look at entertainment businesses have tons of success. There's other things like there's a lot of success that happens in these times. So it's important to understand there's still money there, right? Money didn't just magically disappear. People are just nervous, so they're holding on to it, right? So they got their wallet and they're like, I'm going to hold on to my money, right? Which that slows the economy. That's what causes the problem. So people still have money. Your job and everyone's job is to keep providing value, keep doing stuff to get money flowing. Oh, I dropped my wallet. But like it's kind of like I talked about during 9/11 when everything was shutting down, the government said, go out and go buy things to go stimulate the economy, right? And so our job, like our role as entrepreneurs to keep this entire economy working is to continue to do stuff, right? Don't feel guilty. Like, I'm not going to sell anything because I don't want to offend you. Like, no, like people need to be buying stuff. People need to be selling stuff. Business works, everything like commerce, transaction, these things that happen. This is the lifeblood of the economy. And so it's important. So don't just like shut up shop and be like, I'm going to come back in 3 months from now. And hopefully, it's important for us to keep doing things. So the ways to be successful, a couple of things. Number one, look at what's happening. People are going to be stuck at home, right? Right now, again, most of my workforce is home. Half of our company, their kids are now home from school. Everyone's at home. And so they're at home, quarantined in their houses, watching TV, doing whatever, not going to school, not going to work, bored out of their minds. What are they going to be doing? They're going to be on their phone. They're going to be swiping. They're going to be bored. And so your job is to come in here. All these things we've been talking about for the last decade with you guys, like these concepts, like being an attractive character and entertaining and communication skills, and like these things are so vital right now. Okay. Your people, they're not broke. They're bored. Okay. So your job is to come out there and be entertainment, have fun, like go talk to people, like if you've been scared to death to publish for the last like 5 years, you've been hearing Russell say, publish every day for next year, publish. You've been scared to death. Now is the time. Your people need you. Okay. They need to be entertained. They need hope. They need faith. They need something exciting to look forward to, or they are going to crumble. Like your job, your role as an entrepreneur is always providing value. So now is the time to step up at a higher level than you've ever dreamt of before in the past and provide more value to people. Tell more stories, go live, share more stuff, help more things. Like the more you can inspire positivity during the middle of this storm, the more people are going to follow you, are going to cling to you, and they're going to be successful, and they're going to owe their happiness, their future to you. Okay, so it's very, very important not to shrink and hide. Instead, do the other thing, come out and talk and provide more value. Whoever provides the most value during the storm is going to be the people, the brands, and the companies who win. And so for you, whatever business you're in, this is your shot. This is your role, is to step up as the biggest value provider in the entire marketplace that you're in and being the most consistent and bring hope and bring faith to your people. If you do that, they will follow you. They will connect with you. And you'll be able to change their lives moving forward for the next decade of their life. Okay, so understand that whoever provides the most value is going to win this game. Okay, number two, again, okay, so people are stuck at home. Number two, I talked about this attractive character, like dust off these concepts we've been talking about, you guys, like putting your personality in. Now is the time. People need connection, right? Right now, people are going to be so disconnected, stuck in their homes. They're craving connection. They will more and more so over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, to be craving connection and entertainment. And your job is to bring that to people. Okay, so understand that. Okay, next thing. I actually got a message like 5 minutes before I went live from Dean Graciosi. Dean is one of my favorite humans on this earth. The last few years, I've built a friendship with him that just means the world to me. And I talked to Dean about this a little bit, and I've been through one of the big economic ups and downs. He's been through it twice now, and both times he thrived. And it was interesting because we were talking about this, and he said the biggest, and hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing this, but he said the biggest thing that he found during the last up and down. If you know Dean's story, he's for years he was on infomercials every night for like 20 years. And at the time when the economy's at the top, there's like 50 infomercial dudes all teaching how to make money in real estate. And Dean was one of 50 guys. And then what happened? The economy turned, 2008 hits, no one's buying houses, and all 50 of his competitors disappear. And within like a 3-month period of time, there's only one dude on TV. And guess who that dude was? It was Dean. He was the only one. In the next like 5 years, Dean was the only one on TV, right? He's Forrest Gump out there, weathering the storm, going crazy. How did he survive it? He told me. You guys want to hear? I got the secret. It was on my phone like 2 minutes ago. He said the biggest thing he found was he changed his language patterns. Okay, in times of the economic upturn when things are going crazy and going amazing, guess what you talk about? You talk about the future. You talk about aspirational things like buy my product because you're going to change your life, like aspirations. He said what he did is he shifted his language from like aspirational, because right now in the times of economic downturn, when everyone's freaking out, the aspirational thing is not going to be the thing that gets them to pull their credit card out. Guess what it is? The thing that gets them to pull their credit card out of their wallet is the life preserver. How is the product or service you sell, instead of being an aspirational thing, how is it a life preserver? How is it protecting them? How is it helping them? How is it serving them? Okay, same product, different transition, right? In an economic upturn, I'm going to talk about ClickFunnels as the greatest way to grow your company and hit the next level and make more money, all those kind of things, right? But now in this shift, guess what ClickFunnels is? It's how to start your side hustles, how to get your home business working. It's how to protect yourself during times of economic downturn. So when your company goes under, you're still protected because you've got your business here on the side making you money, making you cash flow, right? So shifting the language patterns from aspirational into becoming a life preserver. So these are little hints you guys understand in your marketing and your messaging, things like that. And then the next point I want to talk about is it's vital and important for all of us entrepreneurs to step up and be okay with the fact that we need to be stimulating the economy. We need to double down on selling our products and selling our services. Don't shrink. You've got to be out there. If we're not stimulating the economy, it becomes a very, very scary time. So do not feel bad. One thing I do want to stress, do not use the virus as a marketing hook. It's bad form. It's not okay. I would just put that out there. I told my team, we have a whole bunch of people on my team publishing stuff. And I was like, do not use this as any kind of advertisement ever. I'm like, we can do an ad, not an ad. We can send emails talking about this, or we're gonna talk about how to protect yourself. But this is not this video. I'm not pitching something at the end of it. That's not the goal. This is 100% to protect you guys and help you understand stuff. But do not use it as a hook. It's bad form. You may get some customers short term, but it will destroy you long term. Make sure your marketing is always above board. And anyway, just want to kind of put that out there as well. Okay. Next thing. So talked about first off, ClickFunnels preparation, how prepared we are for this. For what's happening, because it's taught over the last 3 months. Number 2, talked about weathering the storm for yourself in your business. Next thing I want to talk about, so that's protection of your business. Next thing I want to talk about is just yourself personally, your like preparation for yourself. Okay. So we've got ClickFunnels preparation, your company's preservation. Now it's yours. Now I'm speaking directly to you as the entrepreneur, as the person I've been called to serve. I feel like this has been my mission now for almost 20 years, to help entrepreneurs to grow and to serve because I love entrepreneurs. I love what you guys do. And so I want to talk directly to you for a few minutes and just hopefully help you guys. So a couple things. I was listening to Joe Vitale. Some of you guys know Joe. He is, I don't know him super well, but I've talked to him a few times in the last 15 years, but someone I've always respected. And he did Facebook Live yesterday or a couple days ago. And he said something that got the wheels in my head spinning. He's talking about how, if you think about a traditional virus, like think about this in the micro state, right? Here's you as a person. You get a virus, and what happens, right? You get the flu, like you're going a million miles a minute. You get the flu, and what happens? You have to like sit back, and you get sick, right? And you're not hungry. Your body's like, I don't need any food. I need to like have no food from it so I can heal itself. So you lose your hunger pains. Your body's sore. You lay in bed. You sleep like 20 hours a day, and your body has this time to heal itself, right? I've heard people say before that the role of a doctor is to entertain the patient while the body heals itself. And that's kind of what it is, right? You get the flu and like you may go to the doctor and they give you a couple of things, but you go home and your body heals itself. You sit there, but your body forces you to stop everything. Stop eating, stop working, stop doing everything. I'm going to shut you down so I have time to be silent, to prepare, to clean, and get everything ready. Okay? Now, this is a great metaphor of what's happening in the world right now. Okay? The micro is what happens in our own body. Right now, this is happening in the world. The world's going a million miles a minute. Right now, there's this virus that is spreading around the entire world. Do you understand that? It's what's happening now is forcing everybody to do the same thing, to shut down, disconnect, to calm down, to listen, to be quiet, so that we can heal. I'm sure you guys are not oblivious to what's happening around us, but man, the world is in a very, very dark, evil place. It's a bad time. Like there are so many good things happening, but man, there's so much hate and fighting. I mean, we're moving to this political season and it's going to be a bloodbath if, who knows how this will shift things, but it's going to be brutal. And there's going to be people on both sides. And I think that this virus literally is becoming like a worldwide virus to get all of us to break down and to relax and to regroup and to think through things and to shift. And so I want to kind of to stay with that. And one thing I've been nervous, as I keep all day been thinking about this in my head, I keep wanting to share something with everybody. And I have some nerves about it because it's probably going to offend a few people. So I apologize in advance. It's funny. I think if I was to be on here and drop the F-bomb like 3 times, like no one would really care. But if I talk about God, I'm sure I'll get someone offended and they'll yell at me. But if you're offended about God, then you should just pause for a few seconds. Because I just want to talk about something that I believe in. I think it's been interesting. It's a pattern that's happened throughout time. When the world turns away from God, eventually something happens that turns us back to God. You see some of the most wicked times in the world, then something really bad happens. People turn their hearts back to God. They repent, they ask for forgiveness, they pray, and then the world gets better again. I saw it at 9/11. The world was going very, very like a crazy time. 9/11 happens, and what happens? People's hearts turn back to God. They repent, they ask for forgiveness. They remember him, they pray for his help. And then it's amazing. We have 10 years after that of amazing times. And then when the next economic thing hits and people lose everything, bankruptcies, everything falls apart, People get super prideful during these windows of prosperity, and then they forget God. Everything collapses. And then what happens? People turn their hearts back to God and they pray, they repent, and they get back on track. And I think that over the last couple of years, especially, people in this country and in this world have forgotten God. And it's a scary, scary thing. And I think this is our wake-up call for all of us to turn our hearts back to God, to repent, to pray, because we need him now more than ever. And he's the only one that can fix things. And so I just want to put that out there as my belief. I think as someone who's got a platform to talk, it's important for us and for me and for you and everyone who believes to talk about that. Like, we can't do this on our own. This is a time and a season where we need to turn our hearts back to God, remember him. I think we need to prepare. I think we need to repent for the things we've done wrong and ask for his forgiveness and get back in good graces with him. And as we do that, our country will heal, our personal lives will heal, and everything else will happen as well. So, all right, there's the preaching session. I'm going to move on if that's okay, but I want you guys to know that because it's very important. So, all right. The last thing I want to mention here. So we talked about the preparation of ClickFunnels. We talked about weathering the storm as a company. We talked about weathering the storm for yourself and how to prepare yourself. And we talked about turning our hearts back to God. I think, one more thing I want to add back on preparing yourself is you guys are going back and, you're quarantining yourself. You're going to your house, your homes. Like, this is a really cool time for all of us to study, to learn, to prepare. I'm still launching the new Traffic Seekers book on Tuesday. I'm excited. We got Funnel Flicks. Like, you guys should be watching. Like, there's, I think, 2,600 videos in Funnel Flicks. Like, spend time this weekend and sharpen your saw, become better, become smarter, like start focusing. We spent a small fortune licensing all these products and putting them in Funnel Flicks. So you guys have them for free. So you can go and start studying and start learning and start preparing yourself. The better you get as a marketer, the easier it's going to be to weather the storm. And I just wanted to, anyway, use the materials we're giving you guys, like study, geek out. Like, this is your time to prepare yourself and learn. Like, there's different seasons in our life, and this is a season for growth for everyone too. So, all right. Okay. Last couple things I got, providing value, for your customers. I would continue to ask yourself, what else can I do? What else can I do? How else can I provide value? We had this scary thing 2 days ago when we started talking about, we have three big events supposed to be happening in Boise this month, for our different coaching programs and things like that. And I didn't want to cancel them. I was scared to death. I'm like, I don't want to cancel. It's like we put in so much time and energy and effort. People got flights and hotels, and we're so scared. Like, what do we do? Like, I don't want to shut this thing down. I don't want to cancel it. And we were trying to figure out what should we do? And the question is like, well, what else can we do? How can we create more value? How do we create more value? That's the message. And so we spent the next 24 hours trying to figure out how do we make this actually a good opportunity, and how do we serve people even higher level than we were planning before. And from that, so many good things happen. So for you guys as well, it's like, as you're going into the season, start thinking about like, what else can I do? How else can I serve? What can I do better? How can I do it more efficiently? Like how can I serve my customers at a higher level? When those are the questions going through your head, man, God will give you opportunities and ideas and inspiration that will guide you to be able to help the people you've been called to serve. Like, understand that. Also this time right now, like a whole new economy is literally being created like before our eyes. It is fantastically amazing when you look at it through this lens. I think about it right now, all these schools are getting canceled. Kids are going home. And some schools are trying to figure out, how do we do this? They're like, oh, let's get Zoom. So they're buying Zoom, and they're Zooming their lectures into these things, right? So what's happening to these kids? The kids are like, why am I paying for school? Like, I got to pay for the building and the teacher. I'm paying for these like $100 for these textbooks and all this stuff. And you're like, man, I could spend $300 and go directly to the expert and buy their course online. And like, I think right now, I think there's an opportunity in this shift here. Those of you guys who are, especially people who are selling information products and things like that, courses, masterminds, things like that. Like, this shift is going to be so big for you guys. People are going to be locked out of the school systems for who knows, a month, 6 months, a year, a semester, who knows? And they're looking for alternate ways to learn. And they start realizing I can learn more for cheaper and get better skill set because I bought a course from so-and-so versus going to university for 18 times more money without getting, any value out of it. It's going to open up huge doors for you guys. So understanding that this new economy is being built, this is the first thing I think that ever could disrupt the school systems, because people are getting pulled out of them and they're going to realize really quickly, like, oh my gosh, those things were super inefficient. This is the new way to, and anyway, there's going to be opportunities. So just keeping your eyes open for those things, guys. In the downturns is where opportunities are happening. It's just important to keep your eyes open. And it's not like keep your eyes open. How do I beat the system? How do I take advantage? It's nothing to do with that. If you look at it from the lens of like, how do I take advantage of this opportunity? You're going to struggle. If you look at the lens of like, how do I serve people during this time? that's when the opportunities will pop up. That's when the inspiration will come. You're like, oh my gosh, what if I did this? I can serve people this way. What if I did this? Like, that's where the biggest insights are going to be happening. So I want you guys to understand that, is keeping your eyes open during this time and looking for ways to serve. And as you do that, the ideas, the opportunities, all the things will come to you if you're looking at through that lens. Okay. I think I covered most of the things I wanted to do. I think the last things, again, I'm not an expert on the virus or on any of these things, but I would just make sure for all of you guys that your family's prepared. Make sure you guys have water. Make sure you have food for the next couple of days. Everyone's buying toilet paper and freaking out, but like, there are other things more important. Like, I would make sure you got food and water. Anyway, I would just kind of throw that out there. Like, what would happen if you lost the ability to leave your house for 7 days? Could you survive a week? If not, I would make sure this weekend that you prepare yourself that you could survive at least a week in your house. So I would just put that out there as a thought to think through. I have an easy solution for the toilet paper shortage. Travel bidets are $15 on eBay. It's a little handheld travel bidet. Way better, way more efficient than toilet paper. $15, and you will be clean and your entire family for forever. So there you go. There's a gift. There's the secret of the whole. That's why you guys came for this presentation, to learn about the travel bidets on Amazon. Anyway, all right. Okay. I'm going to wrap this, you guys. I just want to end by saying thank you so much for being part of our community. Thank you for trusting ClickFunnels. Thank you for trusting me. We do not take your trust, your responsibility, your attention lightly. I'm grateful to have this platform and be able to share with you guys. I think right now the world's looking for leaders, and I'm trying my best to stand up and serve the way that I feel comfortable, the way that I feel led. I want you guys to do the same thing as well. Feel comfortable talking to your audience about the things you're passionate about, the things that are important, because if we're going to change the world, we have to be willing to do that. I want you guys to understand that we here at ClickFunnels care about you. Like, it's not just a company for us. Like, we, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've told people over and over, like, this is so much more than just like a job or a business for most of us. It's a calling, and it's a spiritual calling. I definitely feel that way. I feel like we're being led in so many different directions. When we get stuck and I don't know what to do, we pray, and the way is lit up, and we go that direction, and we're trying to listen and prepare the best we can. And I want you guys to understand how much we care about you guys. We talk about you. We make decisions with your best interest at heart. There are people, it's funny, someday I hope all of you guys have a chance to run a company like this, because we get so many naysayers, people are complaining in Facebook about this or that and things, and it's just like, sometimes I see it and I'm like, if you realize like how much we sacrifice and we bleed to give you access to these things. But it's tough, and we can't keep everybody happy, but we are doing our best. We care about you. We care about your success. The decisions we make, the things we're doing, aren't out of greed for ourselves. Like, I don't need any more money. That's not why I think for the most part, it's not why anybody is, who's running ClickFunnels is here. We're all here. I wish you guys all sit in on our team meetings. Like, it's amazing to have a core group of leaders who care as much as they do about the customers, where all of our questions and all of our thoughts and all of our meetings are like, how do we serve? What else can we do? How do we make this easy for people? How do we make it better? Like, what do we do? Like, and it's hard. It's a big ship. It's a lot of work. It's not, I don't think any of us on our side thought 5 years ago that it would turn into a company like this today with 100,000 users and 500 plus employees around the world, like all the craziness. And we're doing the best we can in our stewardship to do what we feel is best, and trying our best to listen closely to inspiration and do the things that we're supposed to do to help serve you guys. And we will totally mess up along the way. You guys have seen me mess up so many times, but we're trying our best, and we're not going anywhere. My goal, my plan is I want this to be a company in a year from now. I'm Forrest Gump right now with Lieutenant Dan, and we're all hanging out on the ship, and we're weathering the storm with you guys. And when it comes out the other side, we're going to get stronger. We're going to, the ships that got destroyed, we're going to buy them up. We're going to bring their crews onto ours, and we're going to take this company to the next level and keep growing and keep progressing so we can serve you guys at a level that no one's ever done before in this market. We've been trying to do it so far at this point. I think we've done a pretty good job, but we're going to keep amping it up and going to the next level. So I'm excited. I think this next year is going to be a little crazy. But I think that for most of us who weather the storm, on the other side of it is going to be an amazing opportunity of growth, of change. The people's lives will be able to affect will be so much more than we ever even dreamt of at this point. And we're just grateful. I am so grateful. You have no idea how meaningful it is to me to be able to have this opportunity to be able to serve you guys as an audience. Like, it has been an honor that I've enjoyed thoroughly throughout this entire thing. It's given my life purpose and meaning. And I'm just grateful for all of you guys. And so just know that we care. We're here. We're doing our best to support you guys every way we can. We'll continue to do that. If there's stuff we can do, please let us know. We do hear you. Sometimes we can't do everything. Most of the time we can't do everything that everyone asks for. But we're trying our best to do the things that are most essential, that have the biggest impact for the most amount of people. And so anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Anyway, I'll be reading comments today. So feel free to go down and drop any comments, anything you want me to hear. I'd love to read them tonight when I jump offline and spend some time with my kids. Have fun to kind of read through. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just want to, state anything down below, please do. And this is the time, you guys. This is the season. It's going to be crazy. Buckle up, prepare yourselves, get ready. But like I said, it's exciting times as well. All the biggest companies in the world were built during times of economic downturn. And so right now is your shot. You have a chance right now to step up to the plate and do something amazing that most people will never have this opportunity again. And now is the time. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Have some fun with it. Remember, be sensitive to people around you who have fear. I don't think it's okay. And I don't think it's important to be fearful, but it's important to have empathy for those who are fearful. And your job is to bring hope, bring belief, bring faith of it's nighttime, it's almost midnight, but it's going to be morning soon. It's winter, it's going to be spring soon. Like the cycles always repeat themselves. After night always comes morning, and we're in the middle of the night right now. We don't know how long it's going to be, but the morning will come. And so let's just prepare ourselves for that and serve our faces off until we get there. And that's our job. That's what we're going to try to do. And I will try to lead the best I can, the best of my abilities. And I hope you guys are able to model and use some of these ideas and things that we're doing for your businesses as well. All right. Thank you guys. With that said, I'm going to go home, play with my wife and my kids for the weekend. I'm going to hug them close. And then we get back on Monday. We're going to prepare. And then Tuesday is the Traffic Secrets book launch. So hopefully Tuesday, all you guys will buy a copy of the book. I'm so excited. It's been so much work, so much effort getting it here, and I'm excited to finally start sharing with you guys. So, all right, that said, I'm going to bounce. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you guys all again soon. Bye, everybody.